They prey on people through calls, text, emails, pop-up windows, and social media. Con artists trying to steal your money. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. In 2023, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center received a record number of fraud reports, more than 880,000 of them, with potential losses exceeding $12 billion. And in many cases, authorities say scammers are specifically targeting older Americans.
Perhaps you've experienced that stressful moment where a parent or grandparent shows you a message on their phone they think is legit, and you've had to gently explain to them it's a scam. But what else can help protect our elderly loved ones?
Reporter Heather Graff has an in-depth look and insight from experts on how to avoid becoming a victim.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, because it's not real.
It's a warning this mother and grandmother never thought she'd have to give.
Oh, my.
But as she scrolls through dozens of deceptive messages on her cell phone,
It's so much.
67-year-old Christine Hurd is motivated to speak out
It's a dark place.
and fight back against fraud.
To think that people out here, they can do things like that to someone and have no remorse.
It was July of 2023 when a woman she thought was a friend on Facebook reached out via DM and asked, "Have you heard about the Department of Health and Human Services grant yet?"
And she said to me to click onto a link. It's a link.
And so you recognize your friend's name.
I recognize my friend's name and her picture. And her picture comes with it.
Christine now knows it was likely a lookalike account created by scammers, the fake friend vouching for a, quote, special program for the elderly and retired, claiming she got $50,000 real cash when she applied, and you don't have to pay it back.
And I'm supposed to click onto the link to start applying for the grant.
That link then connected Christine to a man pretending to be a government agent who asked for a slew of personal information. And after that, he sent this certificate stating she'd been approved for a federal grant.
And the fee for applying for this was $100. And what they want you to pay for was through a card.
Through a gift card.
Gift card, yes.
Next, she was told she had to also pay processing fees to get the grant.
I mean, it had all kinds of stories they came up with.
And when it was all said and done, over the course of about 5 months, Christine had shelled out more than $11,000. All of it paid to the scammers through gift cards.
I'm devastated.
And of course, that phony government grant never existed.
I know financially I'm in a loophole. If it wasn't for my children helping me, I wouldn't be able to make it. It's heartbreaking, you know?
What happened to Christine is known as an impersonation scam, in which con artists pose as someone else to trick their victim. According to the FBI, it's one of the most common types of fraud impacting the elderly. Agency data shows that in 2023, Americans lost more than $1 billion to scammers pretending to be from the government or from tech or customer support. And about 58% of that money was taken from victims who were over 60.
I have no patience for that, and neither does anybody on our team.
Kevin Gallagher is a supervisory agent in the FBI's Washington field office and says that starting in 2022, they began partnering with authorities in India, where many of these scams originate.
To identify, dismantle, and prosecute those who are running call centers that are targeting, in particular, Americans.
And on the back end, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center has a recovery asset team that works with banks to try to quickly freeze funds in the event of fraudulent activity. In 2023, they reported successful holds on more than $500 million belonging to victims.
And the goal there is to freeze those funds before they go overseas and are unreachable.
But that can't happen if victims don't come forward.
These crimes are currently pretty underreported.
They're absolutely underreported. People feel a sense of shame when they've been victimized.
In fact, a recent AARP survey found that only about 15% of Americans actually contact law enforcement about incidents of fraud.
And we need to change that, honestly. We need to encourage people to report it.
Amy Knopfziger helps oversee the AARP's Fraud Watch network and believes families nationwide must also change the way we talk about scams with elderly loved ones.
Bring it up in a non-judgmental way. Say, oh my gosh, I just read this great article. What would you do, Mom, if you got a friend request from someone you didn't know, or you got a phone call from someone pretending to be your grandchild? What would you do? Almost role play it. And then if someone in your family does become a victim of a fraud or a scam, don't say, how could you? You were smarter than this. That puts all the blame on the victim when the blame needs to go on the criminal that stole the money.
Empathy and education that Christine now preaches as well.
I'll never be the same.
Reliving her own nightmare
I want the whole world to see it.
in hopes of sounding the alarm on scams.
It happens. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody.
In Christine's case, none of her money has been recovered thus far. And just to give you a sense of how brazen these impersonation scams can be, even the National Elder Fraud Hotline, managed by the U.S. Department of Justice, has received reports of scammers contacting people and claiming to be from the hotline. You can reach the real National Elder Fraud Hotline at the number on your screen.
And if you or someone you know has been targeted by a scammer, as you heard in Heather's story, the FBI urges you to report it. You can do so online. Just go to their Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov.
It's